Good day. Here are the headlines from the Philippine News Agency. We begin with the government's initiatives to mitigate flooding in the aftermath of the devastation caused by Typhoon Carina and the enhanced southwest monsoon. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has ordered the repair of a damaged floodgate in Navotas City that would have stopped floods from inundating large portions of the Kamanava area. He also called for a second look into the government's ongoing flood control projects to ensure that they would perform their intended functions. More on this from Marita Muahe.
How do you solve a problem like perennial floods during the rainy season? President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has ordered the Department of Public Works and Highways to immediately repair the damaged navigation gate in Navotas City. During an inspection of areas hit by floods caused by Typhoon Carina and the southwest monsoon, the President ordered DPWH Secretary Manuel Bunoan to work on the gate's repair and rehabilitation. Marcos also suggested tapping the expertise of the engineers from the Armed Forces of the Philippines to assist in the repair. The floodgate in Barangay Tanza 1 was damaged after a barge tried to go to the shipyard by forcefully entering the channel from the sea. Local officials said the damage has led to severe flooding in Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela, or the Kamanava area. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority also said several barangays in Malabon and Navotas are getting flooded, especially during high tide because of the damaged flood gate. At the same time, President Marcos ordered a re-evaluation of the design of the government's flood control projects. Marcos noted that these projects were supposed to aid flood-prone areas, such as those in northern Metro Manila, which were below sea level. Navotas City alone has 81 pumping stations, while Valenzuela City has 32.
Valenzuela has the usual problem. Talagang basin yan eh. Lagi nababaha ang Valenzuela. But marami na silang flood control, pero nasa pawan itong sa dami ng tubig. So we have to relook, we have to re-examine some of the designs of our flood control.
President Marcos noted that the effect of the rains from Carina and the southwest monsoon was greater and wider in scope than that of Tropical Storm Ondoy in 2009. He also said climate change, as well as the high tide and the clogging of flood control facilities due to the improper garbage disposal habit of many Filipinos, contributed greatly to the worsening of flood. Some 255 billion pesos was allocated for the DPWH flood control projects in the 5.768 trillion peso national budget for 2024. On the other hand, Administrator Eduardo Guillen of the National Irrigation Administration underscored the need for more high dams to solve the country's perennial flooding issues. He says high dams not only can secure water supply for irrigation, but also mitigate the impacts of severe flooding. Guillen cited how the Wawa Dam in Rodriguez Rizal helped alleviate the impacts of severe flooding in Metro Manila. Last July 10, President Marcos led the impounding process ceremony at the Upper Wawa Dam in Montalban, Rizal. He says the Upper Wawa Dam will foster climate resilience among Filipinos by protecting communities from flooding and by mitigating the harmful effects of drought. The Upper Wawa Dam is considered the biggest water dam to be built in over 50 years, next to the Angat Dam in Bulacan. For the Pna Headlines, I am Marita Muahe.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. says the government is consolidating relief packages for local government units affected by Typhoon Carina and the southwest monsoon. The President made the announcement during an ocular inspection in Malabon City yesterday. He said his visits to various locations provided him with a clearer perspective of the challenges faced by the people. He also observed the persistent flooding in Valenzuela, Navotas, and Malabon. The President admits despite the numerous flood control systems built in these cities, flooding remains a problem due to climate change.
Mas marami tayong flood control ngayon kaysa noon. Pero climate change. This is what the effects of climate change are. What we have seen is that one of the most important parts that nagka-problema was that navigation gate that we went to na nasira because binangga ng isang barko basta hindi sumunod sa instruction, sinira niya. That is why Navotas is still 80% underwater. Malabon, the same. Valenzuela also.
The president said he will be visiting more calamity-hit areas to find out the needs of typhoon victims, especially those who suffered flooding. Today, the president led an inspection of the Mauban Seawall and Mauban Port in Quezon Province. He also presided the situational briefing attended by local chief executives and various heads of concerned agencies.
Now that I know what the situation is, where the areas are that need the most, we'll be putting together already the release packages for the LGUs. Here in NCR, not only NCR, in Region 3, in Calabarzon. So we'll put that all together so that we can go to DBM and tell them to release this already para magamit na ng ating mga local officials.
Department of Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rex Gatchalian has also directed the agency's Disaster Response Management Group to fully automate the inventory management of the Disaster Response Command Center or DRCC. This complies with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s announcement in his third State of the Nation address, designating DRCC as the central hub for the government's disaster response effort. In his third SONA, President Marcos acknowledged the establishment of infrastructures that serve as protection and center for coordination, particularly in delivering services and relief goods. The president said almost 100 evacuation centers have been built in the past 2 years, and the DRCC, launched in January, serves as the central hub for disaster response efforts. The DRCC utilizes advanced information and communication equipment to ensure smooth collaboration between the DSWD Central Office, DSWD Field Offices, member agencies of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, and other stakeholders. It is reinforced by mobile command centers which bridge communication gaps during disaster operations by linking disaster-stricken areas to the Regional Operations Center, DRCC, or the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council. Each MCC is equipped with state-of-the-art satellite internet gadgets and generators, providing power supply and internet connection for communities in disaster areas. Aside from fully automating the DRCC, Gatchalian also instructed the group to perfect the Buong Bansa Handa or BBH program of the department. The BBH project establishes 2 parallel supply chain mechanisms for disaster preparedness and response to meet the needs of affected families in various disaster-stricken areas. Meanwhile, DSWD spokesperson Irene Dumlao said the department will continue to assist families affected by Typhoon Carina throughout the recovery phase. These include financial assistance such as the emergency cash transfer, assistance to individuals in crisis situation, and cash for work programs based on their rapid damage assessment and needs analysis. Dumlao also assured the public that food packs would be available in all affected regions and hard-to-reach areas during the response phase. The Department of Education has allowed schools affected by the massive flooding from bad weather in recent days to defer the opening of classes for the new school year originally set for Monday, July 29. Education Secretary Sani Angara says this is to give time for school staff to clean up and fix the damage caused by the recent disaster. However, the opening classes in schools with minimal damage will push through as scheduled. As of Thursday, 90 schools in 9 regions including Metro Manila, Cordillera Administrative Region, Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Western Visayas, and Eastern Visayas were reportedly affected by Carina and the southwest monsoon. Around 324 schools are also being used as evacuation centers. Angara also assured accessible loan facilities for affected DepEd personnel. Under DepEd Memorandum Order No. 4 Series of 2024, teachers and non-teaching staff may avail of a multi-purpose loan worth 100,000 pesos and 200,000 pesos for extreme emergency loans through their Provident Fund. Parents, teachers, and learners must also brace for a rainy school opening on Monday due to a low-pressure area. As of this morning, the LPA was spotted 1,035 kilometers east of southeastern Mindanao. Weather Bureau PAGASA says the LPA is expected to bring bad weather in Bicol, Eastern Visayas, Caraga, and Davao region early next week. The LPA is expected to approach the eastern section of the country in the next few days and may even intensify into a tropical cyclone. In other news, several parts of Mindanao have also declared a state of calamity because of floods brought by bad weather conditions, including the southwest monsoon enhanced by Typhoon Carina. Those that declared a state of calamity include the towns of Cabacan and Pikit in Cotabato and barangays Nuing, Balangunan, Quiapo, Butuan, Molmol, and San Isidro in Jose Abad Santos, Davao Occidental. Up to 50 houses were damaged, while 202 households were affected by the flooding and landslide, particularly from July 10 to 12. In Zamboanga City, several passengers were stranded at Zamboanga International Airport on Wednesday due to the southwest monsoon. According to the Manila International Airport Authority, some flights in Cagayan de Oro, Butuan, Zamboanga, General Santos, Davao, Dipolog, and Pagadian to and from Manila were also canceled. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website, pna.gov.ph, or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I'm Wilnard Basilonia. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.